Namo Namaha Bhavtam Sarvesham Hardam Swagatam. Welcome back to my channel Sanskrit Sopanam. I hope you are doing great. I'm also good. And continuing in a series learning Sanskrit through Gita, today we'll pick up the 30th shloka of the chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita. Now from the last shloka onwards, we have actually entered the final phase, the most important part of this particular chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Now, if you'll go and take a look at all the names of the chapter of Bhagavad Gita, just open the Bhagavad Gita book and go to that index, the content page, and just see the names of all the chapters of Bhagavad Gita. You will realize that all the chapters of Bhagavad Gita have different names, and the name goes like Arjunasya Vishad Yoga, that is the name of this particular chapter. Then you have Sankhya Yoga, that is the yoga of knowledge. Then you have Karma Yoga, that is yoga of action, and so on and so forth. Many different names. Now, this word yoga means to join or the union. And this particular meaning of word yoga, this is to be understood on the context of the greatest text that is written on yoga, that is Sage Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. So, yoga means union or to join. Now, to join what? So, to join the ego, the I, this personality, this persona with Jivatma, and then the Jivatma with the Brahma, that is the ultimate reality as per the philosophy of our Sanatan Dharma. Now, all these terms, Jivatma, Brahma, all these terms are very fundamental to our Sanatan Dharma. So, we are more familiar with all the deities, Lord Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, and all. But all these deities, everything, all there is in the universe, in the world, and all there is not, everything is just a manifestation of this ultimate reality that is Brahma. Not to be confused with the Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma is different. This word Brahma is the ultimate reality. So when they say no that Buddha he got enlightened, so this is that stage where your consciousness reaches that level, where your union happens between yourself and the Brahma, that your identity dissolves, you become one with the Brahma. So that is enlightenment. In Sanatana Dharma we call moksha, Buddhism they call nirvana, in Jainism they call kaivalya, different names but same concept. So yoga means simply the path or this spiritual growth, the path of this spiritual growth from this ego I to the jivatma, from this jivatma to the Brahma. So this is what is the basis of Yoga Sutra, but it's very deep. I cannot go into that. I don't have the authority or the kind of level of the depth of that knowledge that is required. So I won't go there. Just the basic. But as per our Gita is concerned, this term yoga, you can understand it as a path or the way. So to reach that ultimate goal, this enlightenment, to reach that ultimate goal, there are so many different ways. And based on the appetite, based on the personal temperament of an individual, you can take either of the ways. So it can be the yoga of knowledge, that is Sankhya Yoga, simply means the path of knowledge. Or you can take the Karma Yoga, that is the path of action, that through your actions, through this social life, through what you do, you can reach that level of enlightenment. Then there is also Bhakti Yoga, that through the devotion, you can reach that enlightenment. Someone like Mirabai. So someone like Mirabai, her devotion is something that took her to that level, to that supreme level of consciousness. So many different ways. And yoga simply means what path you are choosing. So Bhagavad Gita, that is why Bhagavad Gita has such a universal appeal, that Sri Krishna, by giving responses to Arjuna's doubts, Arjuna's questions, he basically touch up on all the different ways that are available, that are present for you to choose and follow, so that you can raise your spiritual, you can make your spiritual progress, you can raise your consciousness to the level of Brahma, ultimate reality. So Gita covers everything. All the chapters are just different path, different ways of doing so. So I hope it makes some sense. And this particular chapter, Arjuna se Vishad Yoga. So Vishad means sorrow. And by now you already know that why the path of sorrow. Because this is where Arjuna is overwhelmed with all the emotions. He is fearful, he is sorrowful, he is facing dejection, he is not willing to fight, he is not willing to draw the bloods of his own relatives. So that all this sorrow, all this path of sorrow that Arjuna is on, this is what constitutes this first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And through this shloka onwards, we are going to see that Arjuna, he is going to convey his emotions, he is going to convey his feelings to Sri Krishna. He is going to convey his reasons for not choosing to fight this war. because he firmly believes that nothing good will come out of this war. That level of dejection, that level of sorrow and fear Arjuna is experiencing right now. So this is what these shlokas are going to cover, and that is why I said that we have arrived at the most important section of this particular chapter, that Arjunasya Vishad Yoga, Arjunasya Vishad. We will witness that through these shlokas. So interesting shlokas that are going to happen contextually. Sanskrit wise, everything is important. As I always say, each shloka is important. So that was a bit pre-context that I just wanted to give before we begin in this last section of chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita. And I won't take much more time. Let us quickly dive in today's shloka, that is the 30th shloka of the chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita. So as always, I have the shloka ready with me. Let me go through the shloka once. Gandivam sramsate hastat vakchaiva paridahyate nacha shaknomyavasthatum brahmativa chame manah. So this is the shloka that we'll decode today, and as always, this here is the Sandhi Vichhed version of the shloka. So you have compound words like hastat vakchaiva, that on Sandhi Vichhed opens as hastat tvak cha ev. Similarly, another compound word shaknomi avasthatum. This on Sandhi Vichhed open as shaknomi avasthatum. Same this here, brahmati iva. This is a combination of two words, brahmati iva. So this one is easy, dirgha sandhi. A small e combines with another small e to becomes a dirgha e. So brahmati iv, brahmati iva. So again, I won't go into the individual sandhis. All the sandhi detail, everything as usual is available in the PDF file. You can download the PDF file from the link in the description box. Do download that PDF file. Do go through it. The sandhi section, very important. Word by word, translation, decoding, meaning, everything is there in the PDF file. In case I miss out anything in the video, always refer to this PDF file. But now let us start decoding the shloka. And as always, we'll start with an anchor word, sramsate. Sramsate coming from here, gandivam sramsate. Sramsate simply means it is slipping off. Okay, it slips or it is slipping off. Again, we have covered this point in the previous video, that present tense in Sanskrit, that is lat lakar. Lat lakar in Sanskrit represent both this simple present, it slips off, and present continuous, it is slipping off. It covers both the things. As per the context of the shloka, this will make more sense. So it is slipping off. This is the sense here. This particular verb form, this comes from the dhatu. Okay, before I go that, one important thing, this is pronounced as sramsate. Don't call it stransate, because a lot of times I've seen this word, a lot of people pronounce this word as sahastra, which is equivalent to number 1000 in Sanskrit, sahastra. But it is not sahastra, it is sahasra. This is sa plus ra. Okay. So actually the doubt here happens. Why? Because it is not like this. Like you have this word, no, gram. So in ga, when you add a ra, this, so this slant bar comes. This represents ra. We already know this. But what happens when you combine sa and ra together? What actually happens is this straight line, no, this curves a bit, and then this is added. So this curve line may be causing confusion to a lot of people. I don't know the exact reason, but a lot of people I've seen call this word as sahastra, but it is sahasra. You have the scripture, no, Vishnu Sahasranama. Sahasranam means 1000 names, and that particular stotra, it has 1000 names of Vishnu in a very beautiful poetry forms. So Vishnu Sahasranama. But remember, this is sa plus ra, sahasra, not sahastra. Similarly, sramsate, not stransate, sramsate. Okay. So just a few points, I saw a lot of people mispronounce it. This particular word sramsate, this comes from the dhatu srams. Okay. And this particular dhatu means, again, you can already guess, to slip off. To slip off or to fall down. Same thing, same meaning. To slip off or to fall down. This is the meaning of this particular dhatu. And in third person singular lat lakar, this particular dhatu srams, it changes into sramsate. So in the last video, I quickly touched upon this thing, that verbs in Sanskrit, dhatu in Sanskrit, they are divided into three categories: parasmayapadi, atmanyapadi, and the mixture of two, that is ubhayapadi. what it is, everything, you don't need the details. The only thing that the reason I brought this topic was this particular form, sram sate. So whenever we have this type of dhatu, srams, or any dhatu for that matter, pat, khad, vad, so we are very used to the forms like samsrati, sramsati. So this makes more sense. Pathati, vadati, khadati, sramsati. But here you have, instead of E, you have an A, sramsate. So this is quite a different kind of form. And in the last shloka also, we had one word, jayate. So jayate comes from the jan dhatu, and that also was atmanepadi. That is why it takes a slightly different form as we are so used to the common forms. So the common verbs goes into this category, parasmayapadi, patati, khadati, vadati, bhakshayati, dhavati, all these nouns. And then these kinds of dhatu, they fall under this category, atmanepadi, because they have a slightly different form, sram sate, usually ending with a. So just this topic, I hope you remember this. What is parasmapadi, atmanepadi, why this form, everything. No need to go into that depth. Okay, so srams dhatu in third person singular present tense, since it is an atmanepadi, so it takes the form like sram sate, and simply meaning it, something that we'll see is slipping off, is falling down. Okay, now let us move on. So obvious question came, what is slipping off? And the response is gandivam sram sate. So a lot of people will already know this. Gandiva, this is the name of the divine bow of Arjuna. Very powerful bow, and that was his choice of weapon, Arjuna's choice of weapon. And Gandiva was the name. Okay. And this particular word, it is a neuter gender word. So Napunsakling word, and in first case, Prathama Vibhakti Ekvachan, this changes into Gandivam. Okay. And let us move on further. Kasmat. From where? That it is slipping off from where? Just additional information. And the response is hastat sramsate. Hastat simply means from the hand. That the Gandiva, his bow, is slipping off from his hand. That is the sense here. This particular word hastat, you can already guess the pratipadik hast. Hast means hand. Okay. This is a masculine gender word. So whenever I want to convey this from hand, when something is the source, or when from something else is detached, something else is removed from hand, in all this sense we use, if you remember, fifth case, that is panchami vibhakti, we use fifth case. So hast in fifth case, this changes into hastat. Just as another same kind of word ram, it will change into ramat. Okay, that I get my knowledge from Ram. So Ramat, from Ram. So in that sense, hastat sramsate, from the hand it is slipping off. That is the sense up till here. Okay. So if we'll move on, we have another kriya, paridhahyate. So we have one kriya, sramsate. We already saw that. Now we have another kriya, paridhahyate. And okay, so this paridhahyate, if you see, this is spelled as paridhahyate. And again, a point that I want to mention here, whenever you have something, some consonant that is combining directly with ha, this particular consonant. So suppose you have ra, again combining with ha. So what generally happens is, you have a ha, and then you simply draw this line. Same, the word like gram, no? Ga plus ra, so you draw this slant bar. Same thing happens with ha also, you have this slant bar. Suppose any other letter is to combine with ha. Suppose you combine va. So what happens? You have a ha, and then a small va comes. Okay. But especially with two letters, with ya and I'll write it here, with ma. So something peculiar happens. What happens is, when you combine ya with a ha, this ya forms like this. So, okay, let me redraw it. This ya forms like this. And when you combine ha, ma with a ha, what happens is, there is a ma that combines like this. But in both these cases, this and this, the only difference is, when ma combines, you have this horizontal line. So when a ma combines with a ha, you have this horizontal line, exactly like what you have in ma. But when a ya combines, so there is ya, and then there is a slant line. You see this slant line. So this is the only difference. But why I want to bring this in your notice is, a lot of times when people pronounce this, they think this additional line is a dirgha a. A lot of times this impression comes. So in the words like, you have no mahan. So a lot of people get this impression that there is a dirgha a, And lot of time they will pronounce this as paridahyate or paridahate. They will bring in a dirgha a because this line, this additional line confuses them. But this only happens with a ya and a ma when it combines with this letter ha. So this additional line is not a dirgha a. It is just how ma and ya they combine with this particular letter ha. So it is not paridahate, it is not paridahyate, it is simply paridhyate. Paridhyate. Simple as that. Okay. Just again, I wanted to mention this because a lot of times I've seen a confusion is in this pronunciation. Okay. So paridhyate, this simply means something, it is burning. It burns or it is burning. As per the context, it is burning. The present continuous tense, it will suit better. So this particular verb form, this comes from the dhatu dah, and dah simply means to burn. Okay, paridahyate. And again here you have a prefix also, visarg also, upsarg also, pari plus dah, and again same thing in third person singular and present tense, that is lat lakar. This particular word, it changes into paridhyate. Again you can see this is also a kind of atmanepad form. Okay, this particular form is similar to this kind of form, right, with an a at the end. So sramsate, paridhyate, jayate, so all these are a kind of atmanepad forms, simply meaning it is burning, something is burning. Okay, this is the breakdown of this particular verb form. If I'll move forward, now I will have a question, what is burning? And the response is tvak paridhyate. Okay, and tvak, this means skin. That Arjuna is saying that his skin is burning. It feels like it is burning, not literal sense. It's just he's feeling that sort of emotions, heightened emotions, that it feels like his skin is burning. Now the pratipadik for this particular word tvak, because this, if you'll notice, this is also a prathama vibhakti, a first word case singular word. But you may not have seen any word like this. We are very used to words like Ramaha, Guruhu, Kavihi, or Phalam, Mala, Sita, but we are not used to such word. And that too in Prathama Vibhakti, that is ending with a Ka. So this is a bit peculiar word. And the Pratipadik, the base for this kind of form, the base is Twach. Twach. This is the base word, and this means obviously skin. And the Hindi speakers will get the reference now. In Hindi, we have a slight modification of this word twacha. For the skin in Hindi, we use twacha. This obviously comes from this Sanskrit word twach. Twach means skin. This is the pratipadik, and this is a chakarant word. Why chakarant? Because this particular word is ending with a cha. So this is a chakarant word. Okay, this is a feminine gender word. Again, another very common chakarant word, vach. Vach means, vach you can think of like statement. Okay, man, statement. So this word is also very common, vach, and this is also a chakarant word. So tvak paridhyate, simply meaning the skin is burning. Okay, this is the case here. So now if you can relate all this with the previous shloka, if you can connect it with the previous shloka, in the previous shloka Arjuna said that gatrani sidanti, mam gatrani sidanti, that my limbs, my hands and my legs, they are losing power. And see what follows is gandivam samsate, that the bow, that my bow is slipping off from my hand. So this is how they are connected. This is the what is happening physically to Arjuna due to that heightened sense of emotions. And again, in the previous shloka he said mukham parishushati, that my mouth is drying up. And see how it is connected in this shloka, that tvak paridhakyate, that my skin, it feels like it is burning. So you see the connection between what is happening to Arjuna from the previous shloka to this shloka, and it will continue further in the coming shlokas. So just this is what is the connection being made. And if we'll move on, now he is saying na shaknomi. And shaknomi, this particular word, this means am able or I can. I can or I am able. And since we have na shaknomi here, so it will negate the meaning. So I cannot or I am not able. This is the sense here. Shaknomi. This particular kriyapad, this comes from the dhatu shak. And shak means again to be able to. So just like pathami, this is in first person, uttam purush. Because Arjuna now is talking about himself, that I am not able to. So first person uttam purush, and obviously singular, and same present tense lat lakar. And this dhatu shak, it changes into shaknomi, simply meaning I am able to or I can, but here na shaknomi, so I cannot, I am not able. That is the sense here. Okay. And if we'll move on, the immediate question is kim kartum? That I am not able to do what? Kim kartum? And the response is avasthatum na shaknomi. That I am not able to avasthatum, to stay still. So before understanding avasthatum, let us understand sthatum. Actually, sthatum is the main word. Av is just the prefix. So sthatum, this comes from the root, the dhatu stha. We have already seen this dhatu before also. Stha means to stay at some place, to be there. So stha, and this particular dhatu is being modified using tumun pratyay, tumun suffix. It basically, if in a sentence you have two kriya, two verbs that are happening. So one verb, one kriya will be the reason of doing the second kriya. So when this is the case, we use tumun pratyay. Let us understand this with an example. Okay, so suppose you have an example sentence that a boy goes to school to study. So there are two verbs, two kriya that are happening. One, boy goes, and then boy studies, right? So the boy goes to school to study. School पढ़ने के लिए जाता है. So to study, this is the reason, and that is why the dhatu pat, instead of using simple patati or pathami or that kind of form, we will modify this dhatu pat with the tumun pratyay. And when we modify this, the resultant word becomes patitum. And the sentence becomes balakaha patitum vidyalayam gacchati. That balakaha patitum, that means to study, vidyalayam gacchati, goes to school. Okay, this is the use of this particular suffix, tumun suffix. Let us take another example. I am interested to do work. Okay, so again two things are happening. First, I am interested, and also to do, to actually perform the work. And the sentence in Sanskrit will be aham karyam kartum ichhami. That aham ichhami, I am interested to do work, to perform the activity, whatever activity is given. So the reason I'm interested, this activity will modify using tumun pratyay. So kr is the dhatu, that means to do. And since this is the reason to do, so I am modifying this using again same tumun pratyay. So kri plus tumun, it changes into kartum. Okay, how it changes into kartum? For now, just remember this is the form. Again, with more practice, more use, it gets familiar, these forms. But know the logic that why we are using this tumun pratyay. Aham karyam kartum ichhami. I am interested to do the work. Same thing. Balakaha pathitum vidyalayam gacchati. That balakaha, to study, vidyalayam gacchati, goes to school. Okay, and now the same logic can be applied here. That na shaknomi, that I am not able to do what? I am not able to stay still. Sthatum. Stha means to stay. And I am not able to stay still. Aham sthatum na shaknomi. That is why we are modifying this dhatu stha using tumun pratyay. Because this is the reason for this activity. I am not able to stay. Again, this is what is describing the physical condition of Arjuna. That he is feeling so weak that he is not able to stand. He is not able to stay still. That is what he is expressing through this line. Okay. So let us move on. And now we have the final kriya, Brahmati. This is simple to understand. Brahmati means to wander. Okay. So it is wandering or it is becoming unsteady. This is also the meaning of this particular verb. This comes from the dhatu Brahma. So Brahma, this means to become unsteady or to wander here and there. Wander again is not in a literal sense. You can use in a literal sense also, but since in the context we are using wandering in the sense of the mind, that the mind is wandering, it is unstable, it is unsteady, it is entertaining random thoughts, it is haywire. So that is the sense here. And this form very easily, I think all of you can identify. This is again third person, ekvachan, singular, and present tense, lit lakar. So the same old forms as we are so used to. Pathati, khadati. So Brahm changes into Brahmati. That something, some third person, something is becoming unsteady. Something is wandering. Okay. And if we'll move forward, we already know the answer to this question. Kim, what is wandering? What is becoming unsteady? And the response is me manaha brahmati. So manaha simply means mind. And me, this also we saw in the last shloka. This is same as this mam. Mam means my, right? Mam, me, both of these can be interchangeably used. So me manah brahmati, my mind, it is becoming unsteady. It is wandering. It is going haywire here and there. Okay, that is the sense here. Manah, this again, this does not come from the pratipadik man. So it may look like it is coming from the pratipadik man, just as Ram and Ramaha. But this is not the pratipadik. The pratipadik is manas. And manas, this is a sakarant word. So we also saw chakarant word. Now this is a sakarant word, manas. And manas, this in first form changes into manaha. So again, new information, lot of information already in this video. Just listen to this. If you want to keep it in mind, keep it. Otherwise, forget it. No problem. We will entertain this, understand this some in later time. Okay. Just manas is the pratipadik. It is a sakarant word. It is a neuter gender word, napunsakling word. And this in first case, prathama vibhakti, it changes into manaha. Simple as that. Just remember this. Okay. Me manaha brahmati. My mind is wandering. That is the sense here. Okay. And with this, we have completed the shloka. Let us try the anvay, the translation. Okay. So, Gandivam hastat sramsate. That my bow, that Gandiva is the name of Arjuna's bow. My bow is slipping off hastat, from the hand. Okay. And paridakhyate twak. My skin, twak paridakhyate. It is burning. It is indeed burning. We have this ev, twakev paridakhyate. This ev again is an avyay that simply means indeed or he. मेरी स्किन ही जल रही है. It is indeed burning. That is the avyay. Okay. Then cha and avasthatum na shaknomi. Na shaknomi, I am not able to. And to what? To avasthatum, to stand, to stay stood, to stay still. That is the sense here. Okay. And me manaha, my mind, brahmati if, is like wandering, is like going haywire, is like becoming unsteady. That is the sense here. This particular, again, this is also an avyay, indeclinable if. This simply means like. No, we have this kind of saying that my mind is like wandering. So in that sense, just a conversational sense. If like, it's an avyay. So my mind is like wandering here and there. So yeah, that was it. And I agree, a lot of information was packed in this video. And there were actually few things that I could have explored even further. But given the length is already, I think, on a bigger side. So in the next time, in some next video, all these concepts, all these topics keep on repeating. So we don't need to worry about anything. Whatever you can retain. Refer to this video again in your own time. Download that PDF, go through it. Lot of things, lot of space for practicing. If you retain it, very good. If you can't, again, don't worry. All these concepts, all these things will come back. We'll discuss them again. We'll learn them again. We'll reinforce them again. So don't worry about it. Just listen to it, enjoy and relish this Sanskrit learning. So I'll meet you in the next video, in the next shloka. Until then, stay awesome, stay happy, keep learning. Vayam punamilamaha. Dhanyavad.